Hi guys, it's Judy here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a full face or an almost full face. I know the title says full face, but you know what? I needed the clicks. Why did I just admit that? Anyway, I'm being honest. It's an almost full face of JUVIA'S makeup. I already have my skin prepped and primed with skincare from other brands. The only things that I don't have from JUVIA'S is the mascara and the eyeliner. Pretty much everything else is from JUVIA'S and I'm very, very happy about that. You guys know that I am a lover and a longtime supporter of JUVIA'S products. As you can tell by the packaging in my background, this is a DIY background that I made out of empty makeup packaging boxes, in case you didn't already know that. Before I get into this video, I want to give a really quick message to my subscribers. If you want to skip ahead to the tutorial or the makeup application portion of this video, I'm going to leave the timestamp right here. But I just want to quickly say to my lovely subscribers, I haven't done a life update chatty get ready with me video for a long time now, for a hot minute. But I did film one the other day and I'm hoping that it will be up next week. I have tried editing it and I'm having difficulties with my editing software. My software and my computer combined can't seem to fathom that some videos need to be longer than 20 minutes and it's freezing up. So I'm trying to figure out a way to combat this slow computer crashing, program freezing saga for this long life update video. Sorry, got distracted. For this long life update video, and when or flies are distracting me, or it might just be the black spot in my vision. I don't know. No, it's a fly. It's not the black spot in my vision. Anyway, so if I forgot what I was saying, but yeah, that was basically the gist of it anyway. So without further ado, let's get to applying some JUVIA'S makeup on the face. Now, I already have my skincare done, so skin prepped. The last little step that I wanted to do on camera though was to apply some of this Glam Glow 6 Acid Clarifying Primer. This is something that I recently received in my BoxyCharm and it's such an interesting product. I know it's not JUVIA'S, but it kind of seems to fill in the pores and mattify the skin. It says you're supposed to apply it with like this spatula thing that it came with, but I'm finding applying it with a sponge is working just as well. I'm just pressing it into the skin to fill up those pores, provide me a good smooth base, and then that's pretty much it. I'm gonna call it a day. It looks like a little putty type thing, but it's a lot softer than a putty. It's pretty good. I've never seen Glam Glow come out with anything but like skincare mask type things. I suppose this is kind of like skincare in a way, but more like a last step thing before applying makeup. Sorry if you can hear the birds. They're really loud right now, and the crickets have decided to come out too. It's in the evening while I'm filming this. All right, now I'm going to start with the eyes. So to prime the eyelids, I'm going to use some concealer. I want to use a really light base because the colors that I'm going to be applying on top is actually from the palette the La Mariposa, made by Yummy Angelina in collaboration with JUVIA'S. Have not used this palette before, so I'm really excited to try it out on the eyes today. They are bright pops of color, so that's why I'm using a really light base, so the colors show up on the eyelids. Although I have swatched this palette before and the pigments come out really nicely, so them showing up to work isn't really an issue. I just want them to stand out a lot more, which is why I'm using a light base. Wow, them crickets are loud. I'm just gonna take some of that concealer in between my eyebrows as well, because that little red patch between there is kind of bothering me. So now I look wild and crazy. We can get on with it. Wow, those crickets are so loud. Excuse me, sir? Sir, do you mind trying to film a video here? I'm gonna take some of this brown shade here called Yatusabi and use this as my transition shade. I don't entirely know what kind of look I'm going for yet. I'm just kind of winging it and having a bit of a play. This is so smooth, I love it. That blended in really super nicely. Now I'm gonna go in with a bit of a smaller tipped blending brush, and I'm gonna go into this neon orange shade called Aerialis? Not sure. Anyway, it's this one. And I'm going to more precisely blend this into my transition, but not buff it out as much as I did that first initial shade. Probably gonna focus this more in my crease. of that yellow shade called October 12 and just very lightly, I'm gonna buff this above that brown kind of, just to give myself a little hint of that yellow. I'm gonna do my best to try and use every single shade in this palette if I can. Okay, I feel like this is where I need the look to get a little bit more interesting, so I'm going to attempt a bit of like a cut crease or a place where I can apply a contrasting color, some of that blue right there. So I'm going to take some concealer, pop it on the back of my hand, and I'm going to use this tiny little, it's actually a lip brush, but you know, you can use it for whatever you like, and in this case I'm going to use it as a brush to cut my crease. But I'm gonna have to think about this for a second. So I'm gonna start here and then kind of wing it out and come out like that, kind of. Just come along with me and we'll see what I end up with. Like that. All right, I've brought you in a bit closer so you can kind of see a bit better what I'm doing. So I've ended up with something a little bit like this, and now I want to go in with some of that blue. I'm going to use a packing brush. This is actually a Morphe E32. Not that that really means anything, just get a brush that looks like this. So I'm just going to take up some of that blue shade called Angel, and I'm going to pat this along the top of that cut crease. Brush is hard as heck. Why is it so hard? The bristles are so firm. Not even patting the shades on. I'm gonna change brush. Use this e.l.f. eyeshadow brush. Same type of shape, but a bit softer. I've let myself wing it way out that way because I don't know yet what I'm going to do with this outer edge, but I can just clean it up if I don't want that much there. All right, this is what I have achieved so far. I'm actually kind of liking this. Now, what I want to do is kind of layer that pink there. It's called Barbie Brat. By the way, if Barbie dolls came out with an eyeshadow palette, I would imagine it would look something like this. Anyway, I'm going to take some of that on the same packing brush, and I'm going to run this along on the same shape as that blue, but just a little bit lower than where I applied it before. Before I do that, actually, I'm going to take a makeup wipe and I'm actually going to clean my eyelid, kind of carve out the shape where I'm going to apply that pink eyeshadow. I feel like if I cleaned off some of that blue off the skin, the pink would show up a little bit better. I'm going to reapply some of that concealer just so that I have still a bit of a base on the eyelids after I wiped off that blue. And now I'm gonna go in with that pink. I'm gonna see if this shade applies any better wet. Oh, much better, much better. Again, I'm winging that pink out and I'll just wipe off the excess later. It's looking a bit drag queeny at the moment, isn't it? Okay, here's the part where I'm talking about cleaning up the outer edges. So obviously I'm not gonna leave it like this because I don't quite know what's going on over there. So I'm just gonna take a makeup wipe and kind of create the cat eye cut angle type thing. I've forgotten my makeup jargon, but you can see what I'm doing. Wow, that cleaned up real nice. There's only one shade left in the palette that I haven't used, and it's that glitter right there in the shade called Glitter Queen. So what I'm gonna do is take some glitter glue and apply a bit of that on the back of my hand. And then using this angled brush, I'm going to apply some of this glitter glue right along the line there where the cut crease is. And then you can probably see where I'm going with this. Once I've applied that glue there, I'm gonna go over the top of that with some of that glitter. How anyone does those super precise and defined eyeshadow looks, I don't know how they do it. Tell you what, this is probably as good as I'm gonna get. It's not super sharp in the colors, but it's pretty close, I think. Kind of, maybe. Right, I'm gonna call it good on the eyes for now. I'll finish it off later. But now I want to do my face base. So as far as foundation goes, I have these two right here. This is the Juvia's, mostly Juvia's Place, I Am Magic Velvety Matte Foundation, and I have it in two shades because I really struggled to find my shade. I have the shade Giza and Casablanca, and I generally mix these two shades in order to get my actual shade. So just a tiny little dollop of each one, because this formula goes a very, very long way. You don't need very much at all. So glad that didn't end up on my shirt. Oh, thank heavens, this is a new shirt. So mix it carefully, and I'm just gonna apply that on the skin like so. This is a very not professional way to apply foundation, but anyway, I'm not a professional makeup artist. I just am someone who likes to play with makeup. A little bit goes a very, very long way, as you can see there. Oh, she's very yellow. As you can see, the coverage on this is very high. It's instantly covering everything I've got going on underneath. You can still actually kind of see some of my dark spots coming through there, but that's okay. I'm gonna cover some of that up with concealer and the shade sticks that I've got coming next, because those do provide a fair bit of coverage as well. For concealer, I'm going to use this one here. I think this is the same one that I used as a base for my eyes, or is it? Oh no, I use a lighter shade for my eyes. This one is a little bit more close to my skin tone. It's in the shade 16 in their I Am Magic concealer line. Just gonna take a tiny little dab right there, tiny little dab right there. Don't need much, I don't think, because this concealer goes a very long way as well. Bit in the center there, and I'm probably going to just use a lot of this for highlighting purposes as well while I'm at it. And again, just blend that in with a beauty sponge. And now for a bit of contour, I'm going to use the Juvia's Place shading stick. This is in the shade Dominica, and obviously just use that as I would a bronzing stick. I wish actually that I'd gotten a darker shade, but I think this is the darkest shade that I got. I really love these shade sticks from Juvia's Place actually, because they blend in so quickly and so nicely. I know that contour isn't very contrasty, but it's just dark enough to give myself a bit of shape back in the cheeks, and then I'm gonna warm up the face later on with some bronzer anyway. I feel like I do need a little bit more brightening under the eyes, so I'm going to take some of that lighter concealer and apply just the tiniest little bit right there. Right there, that's enough. That will do. Alright, this is generally the part where I will go in with some powder, but at this point I don't feel like I really need it. I will and truly press that product into my skin, and I'm not really creasing up under the eyes. Well, maybe I am at the tiniest little bit, but I've been finding that when I apply powder to my makeup looks, it just goes really cakey, like really super cakey. I might be singing a different tune by the end of this video and be applying some powder anyway, but at this point I don't really feel like I need to. So I'm gonna leave that at that and start to go in with some blush. So for some blush, I'm going to be using the Bella blush, also from Juvia's Place. Taking a little bit on this brush right here and just tapping that on the apples of the cheek. It looks very strong in the pan, doesn't it? But you can control with how much you go in with. I don't mind a bit of a stronger blush, to be honest. For bronzer, I'm going to use the Saharan 2 blush palette. This is actually a blush palette, like I just said, but I have been using that shade there called Yara as a bronzer because it works with my skin tone. So I'm picking some of that up and use that as some bronzer. What was on that brush before? I'm getting black on my face. What the heck? I'm gonna get a different brush. Try again. I was thinking like, I know that was dark on my skin, but not that dark. I think it might have been one of the brushes that I used for my Halloween looks last year. I know I haven't washed it yet, don't judge me. point, I'm going to take some of that bronzer on a smaller blending brush, and I'm going to blend that bronzer into my hairline so it doesn't look like you can see like the cut there. Is it a cut? What am I trying to say? You can see the line, the distinct foundation line. Alright, I know I said I wasn't going to use any powder, but just for the sake of using this JUVIA'S I Am Magic setting powder in the shade Sahara, I am going to actually use this to bake under my cheekbone because I just want to define under there a little bit. So I'm going to take some of that on this edge here of my makeup sponge, and I'm going to bake under there. Now I'm gonna go in with some highlighter, and I'm using the JUVIA'S, it's all JUVIA'S. I'm using the Tribe Highlighter Volume 2. I'm just gonna apply some of that with a sponge. I just want to buff some of the leftover blush that was on my brush into the bronzer there. Into the highlight, into the highlight there. Just kind of marry those two together. Alright, while my cheekbones are baking, I'm going to finish off the eyes. So, under the lower lash line, grabbing that eyeshadow palette again, under the lower lash line, I am going to blend some of this brown here, and then under that, I'm going to blend some of this orange as well. I'm wanting a bit of inner corner and underbrow highlight, but a lot brighter than the Tribe Volume 2 highlighter. So I'm going to take Tribe Volume 3, and it's the lightest one of the bunch. And I'm going to take some of that on this tiny little pencil or lip brush, and then pop that right there. Alright, now I don't think JUVIA'S has any eyeliners, like cream gel eyeliners for the waterline, but I do have this Luxe lip liner in the shade So Rare. This is part of their nude lip collection, and there's no rules that say I can't put it in the eyes. Maybe it's not supposed to be used on the eyes, but you know what? I'm going to use this in my waterline. Right, now I'm going to apply my eyeliner and mascara, both of which are not JUVIA'S brand products. So I'm going to do that, and I'll be right back. I'm back. Now we can brush off this bake powder on my cheekbones. But what I'm going to actually do is buff it off with a sponge. There we go. Isn't that nice? Now you can kind of see my cut cheeks there. I also took a second to pick out the lip products I'm going to use. So I'm going to use the Luxe lip liner in the shade Cola. And then over the top of that, I'm going to use this lipstick from the Nude Lip collection. And this is in the shade In Vogue. So I'm hoping for a bit of an ombre lip moment. I don't know if this really goes, but either way, it'll be like an ombre nude lip for me. So let's do that. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Did you guys enjoy it? Did you actually enjoy it? If you did, I'd love it if you gave this video a thumbs up. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. What has been your most favorite recent purchase from JUVIA'S? Let me know. If you want to find reviews or videos of me using most of these products in other videos here on my channel, you will find a JUVIA'S playlist linked in the description box down below. You'll find all my JUVIA'S related videos in that playlist, and you can see a lot of these other products in play in that video. That is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't. Thank you guys so much for spending your time here with me today, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye! Alright, I already have my face. Skincare. What am I trying to say? How anyone does those super precise, how anyone does that, what am I trying to say? At this point, I'm going to take some of that bronzer. bronzer. What is your I can't speak tonight.